Hello, good afternoon, and welcome. Welcome to the Cup of Calm, where I have the privilege of introducing you to another special guest of ours, Anita Marshall. But before I go in, I just want to welcome you all, and perhaps give a couple of people some time to jump on and just have an amazing time sharing this experience with us, because I hope you've got your cup of calm with you, and I know we certainly do, don't we?
We do, cheers.
It's nice to be able to just sit down, chill, have your cup of calm. And you know, this cup of calm is all about inspiration. We're all here to help inspire and empower people to be the best version of themselves. And what better way to share stories? What better way to share success stories? And who knows who it might inspire. And you just never know where that might lead you, or what action steps that's going to encourage you to take to help you move forward so that you can become your ultimate best version of yourself. Now, before I introduce you to our amazing guest, I want to give you a couple of rundown of Anita. Now, Anita is a mortgage finance broker. She's at the moment has a company called Advanced Finance Solutions, and she's also the proud author of her own book, and it's called Achieve the Dream, Your Own Home. And I cannot wait to share this with you in a moment. She's also one of the published authors in the best-selling books Ignite Your Investment Property Mojo, The Path to Success, which is full of inspirational stories from entrepreneurs all over the world, including Dr. Wayne Dyer, Brian Tracy, Ariel Ford, and so many more. In addition to that, there's also a book out called Sprout the Life You Love, which is a compilation book full of tales and secrets from female entrepreneurs, including Rhonda, Britton, and Poppy King. Wow! The list goes on, folks, the list goes on. Advanced Finance Solutions are a team of professional mortgage planners with two locations, one on the Gold Coast and also one on Port Stephens, and they help clients find mortgage solutions. And I know in this day and age, there's a lot of people seeking for some solutions. And they also use the latest broker technology. Now, the difference is that Advanced Financial Solutions, they help their clients choose from major banks and many other lending mortgage providers. And they can also compare loans right in front of you. So you have that beautiful, intimate connection with these amazing people, an amazing team. They offer flexible solutions, and you might be surprised at some of the innovative ways which ways they can structure the loans to help you meet lifestyle and financial needs. It doesn't matter what stage you are in your life, what income bracket you're in, what company size you are, they will have a solution for you. But here's the thing, it hasn't always been smooth sailing for Anita. And Anita believes in action being the key towards her success. And I'm so looking forward to sharing you what that action is and those appropriate actions required to take that level towards that level of success. And what's important to Anita is to use mental strength to push through hard times to make a better life for yourself and those around you. And I know there's so many people right now that I bet can really relate to this, and it hasn't been a very easy road these last couple of years. Now, there is a multitude of qualifications and credentials that Anita holds, including a diploma in mortgage broking, certificate in mortgage broking, financial services, business management. So she's got the entire package, folks. And so please, let me allow me to introduce you. It's the most honourable privilege to welcome you to the Cup of Calm, Anita.
Thank you. What an introduction, Sheb. Thank you.
Well, yes. So thank you so much for taking the time to being here.
No, I'm really honoured to be here. Thank you for having me.
Very exciting. I'm dying to hear your story. I know you've mentioned there's been some challenges, some tough times in your life. Tell me, are you able to take us through that time and what that time looked like for you?
Yeah, so look, there wouldn't be just one tough time that I've been through. I think in life, over the years I've worked out you have roller coasters where, you know, life can be just fabulous and everything's wonderful, which for me it is at the moment, but, you know, then you'll have a terrible time and couple of years ago is probably one of the worst phases that I'd been through. So, you know, there's all sorts of roller coasters, and I think it's a matter of really riding out those times. But probably the one that helped me the most as far as my career goes was when I went through my divorce. So prior to my divorce, you know, 2 incomes, life is pretty easy. You've got, you know, an easy lifestyle. You can afford to have a wonderful holiday. You can afford to have a nice car and whatever. And then when I went through my divorce, life was not that easy. And I was working for a credit union at the time, and in my eyes it was a very basic wage, and it was enough to sort of put a meal on the table, pay the bills, and that's about it. You wouldn't be able to afford a holiday or anything exciting or any nice clothes or anything like that. So I do remember that I went from using $80 Elizabeth Arden makeup, and this is, you know, 23 years ago now, to $2 Sorbeline. And I actually still use Sorbeline because once you've been grounded and brought back to earth a little bit, you are a little bit more conscious of your spending. And at that time, I realised that this is not the life I want. I was on struggle street, and by the time I decided I needed to make a change, I had a home loan, a very, you know, a decent home loan on a nice place, but I had a home loan, a car loan, a credit card that I had completely maxed out, a line of credit, and I realised that I was that hairdresser with the bad hair. I was the money lady with the terrible money situation. But there was no way of changing that at that time because I just wasn't earning enough for what I needed to pay. And that's when I realised that I need to change something here and change it quickly. And that's one thing that I've worked out in life. If you're not happy, you need to do some sort of action. No one's going to pull you out of your situation or know how to pull you out of the situation better than yourself. And you can get all the advice from other people, but it's you that has to make the changes. So what I realised then is that I had no formal qualification whatsoever. I'd worked in a credit union as a teller and then a lending officer. I was managing a branch at the time, but I didn't have any qualification on paper. So I went and took it upon myself to do study, and I did Certificate 3, Certificate 4, and then I went to uni and did a business management diploma, so I knew how to run a business, and also then went on to do mortgage broking diploma. So I had all these qualifications, and then I really put a lot of effort into the business plan and worked out how I was going to make a better life for me, and that was opening my own business. And I read an amazing book back then called Be Your Own Life Coach by Fiona Harold. And Fiona's actually one of my friends on Facebook now. And that book I can't recommend highly enough. It's an amazing book that, you know, helps you work out where do you want to be? You know, where are you now and where do you actually want to be and what steps have you got to make to get there? And I used the strategies in that book to go, all right, this is where I want to be, and where I am now is so far from that, it's not funny. So that's what I did.
I love it. I love it. It would have taken a lot of courage to come from a place of, you know, I'm not finding myself happy in this situation. What do I need? What do I want? And that can be quite confronting for people.
Yes, and I really think it was just that, you know, I also had a son, Blake, and I wanted to make a better life for him as well. And, you know, when you're doing it for someone and yourself, and you've got that motivation there, and you think, well, this is where I am, and this is my life if I don't do something to change it. And that's exactly what I did.
You found out your why.
Yeah, that's
your why.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. And at the time, take us through how this impacted your profession. So fast forward from that situation, and how since you made the decision, and you'll find that a lot of gurus, personal development books and coaches will tell you that everything starts with a decision. You know, you gotta make a decision first. And you made the decision because you start to realize and notice that, hey, there's something quite not right here. You know, you felt out of balance and you made the decision to take those steps. Moving forward from then on, how did that impact your professional life, your personal life? What are some of the greatest changes that you begin to notice within yourself?
Look, I think that calling on mental strength is the one thing that I probably didn't do very well earlier. And what I've worked out now is when you hit a tough patch, the last thing that I need to do is to just be sad about it or depressed or put myself in a hole. And, you know, and I have suffered with a bit of depression when I went through my divorce because it was such a big lifestyle change and shock. But, you know, draw on your mental strength and know that this is not the worst that it's going to be. And, you know, really, really think, how can I push myself forward? And I love podcasts. Andy Frisella, who is definitely not everyone's cup of tea with podcasts, is my favourite, because I'll listen to his podcast and it's like he's kicked me up the bum and said, righto, come on, get yourself out of that hole. And, you know, over the last few years, we've had some terrible times at everyone. There's not one person that I know that hasn't had a difficult patch in their life over the last couple of years. And when COVID first hit, everyone thought that the property market was going to just go bust. And we didn't write one loan for at least 3 months, I think it was, or barely any. And I was thinking that, you know, this is going to be the end of us. And I was thinking about what else I could do. And I listened to one of Andy's podcasts. It was like, when times are really tough, that's when, you know, you really need to dig deep and find your mental strength and help propel yourself forward. And that's exactly what we did. You know, we had some of our opposition actually close their doors, which is not good for me to hear. I love hearing about people succeeding, and but I was determined not to do that. And those sort of things help, I find. Podcasts are great, reading books are great, talking to friends, sessions with you. I know that some of my friends had sessions with you through COVID and really benefited from those sessions. And that's the sort of thing that will get people through hard times.
Thank you, Anita. And absolutely, I mean, there are help out there, folks. So if you are going through a difficult stage in your time, in your life, and you're not quite sure how to navigate those murky waters, as Anita said, you know, find a podcast that you resonate with, find a book that you resonate with, and you just never know how it's going to impact or change your life. And if it might be a friend or a therapist or just anything there, that you just reach out, and there's no harm in just asking for help, right? Otherwise, none of us would be here today if we didn't seek for that help.
And there is a lot of help out there, isn't there? There is. Even in business, you know, over the years I've always used a business coach, but, you know, a lot of the time the governments have free programs and schemes, and there's amazing help available when you start looking for it.
Absolutely. And if you're a business owner, perhaps, where you feel that you're, you know, quite not sure which path to take or how to navigate certain situations, you know, check out your local environment, your community. There could be some networking events. Some are free, some are paid. You know, I suggest go out and just have a look and find the one that really resonates and works with you. And I know you've done that as well. You've taken on that action and created the Gold Coast Referral Group, and that's just over 1 year old now.
Yes, we had our birthday last Thursday.
Yes, happy birthday. We'll drink tea to that. And so that's been a really successful action that you took, and thanks to you, I got to meet so many people as part of that group. And what inspired you to start?
Oh, so it was actually Campbell Moore, the local real estate agent that works with Harcourts, who's become an incredibly amazing friend to me. He might even be watching, hope he is. So Campbell was having trouble finding a networking referral group that worked for him, and we had a little discussion about it and said it would be great to get, you know, between 12 and 15 people together every Thursday for breakfast, have a chat about our businesses. And honestly, the whole group's just grown legs from there. We're getting between 30 and 40 a week now. But the other thing is, we've developed friendships from it. We're getting a lot of business from it. The networking has been amazing from that group.
Absolutely. I totally vouch for that. And run by amazing people, of course, who come from that heart space. Awesome. And I love how you mentioned, you know, taking that action, making that decision, then taking those appropriate actions, and then moving forward into those steps. Now you've come to a level in your professional life. Do you feel like there's more? Do you feel like there's more? Like, have you reached the pinnacle, or do you feel like there's There's more room.
Oh, there's always more room. My room, though, has changed a little bit because many years ago I had a bigger business than I have now. So I had, at one stage, I had 7 brokers that were contracting to me and 5 admin team members. Now I have myself and 1 other broker and a smaller admin team. And I find my stress levels are so much less with the smaller team. So I don't have aspirations to get a bigger team. What I have aspirations for is to get that team running completely without me, so I can disappear off into the sunset and enjoy more holidays. And yeah, we're really getting there. So this year, only last month actually, I had a 5-night holiday in Cairns where my entire team ran the business without me. I didn't do one bit of work on holidays. Now that's the first time I've done that for about 4 years.
Amazing.
So yeah, a previous team member that now is a business development manager for the perm used to be able to run my business totally without me, but she got poached by the perm, and yes, so it's taken a bit of a journey to get back to that point.
I love it.
But that's my plan. That's where my room is, because bigger is not always better in my eyes now.
I love it. So coming from a marriage that broke down and then into a single mum of not knowing what to do, definitely not settling in for whatever was available to you at the time, to now coming into this beautiful space where you can take a holiday and, you know, and then trust that your team has got your back. What time frame, or from that time to when did you feel like this is the moment, like this is the time that you've really accomplished and felt that success, or whatever that definition of success for you is?
Yes, that's a great question, because the answer is probably not what you'll expect. So when I started my business, I actually left the credit union and took my long service leave, and I had $16,000 to my name. That was all the money I had. So I had to start the business, get it going, pay myself a wage, and the bank turnaround times with your commissions are around about, by the time you write the loan settles and you get paid, it's around about 3 months from when you start that deal. So I had 3 months with $16,000. One of my uncles is an accountant in Melbourne, and he has a broker that works with his firm. He said, Anita, that you haven't got enough money to do this. And I'd already done all my figures. I knew it was going to work. And I got my first commission check in that 3-month period, and I knew at that point I was right.
I love that.
Yes.
I love.
Mind you, there was an awful lot of work that went in. I had my entire family helping, mum and dad, and my son Blake and his friends at the time were doing flyer drops in letterboxes. I was out visiting real estates and conveyancers and solicitors every day, working till crazy hours and starting at crazy hours. So there was a lot of work that went into it, but I knew when I did that 3 months and I got that commission check that I was on the right path.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that was just the ignition that you needed to.
Yes. And within the first 12 months, I'd actually doubled the income that I was earning at the credit union. Yeah, so I knew I was right then. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been times where I've thought, I don't want to do this anymore. But I've dug deep, made it through those patches, and still here today.
That's right. One of the biggest quotes that I love and live by is by Earl Nightingale. And his definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And you certainly found that worthy ideal, and there was evidence there to support that worthy ideal, which just ignited even more of that commitment to yourself and that bigger why. So well done. Well done on your achievement. It's amazing and inspiring. What legacy would you like to leave the world?
That's an interesting question. Obviously, my passion is first home buyers and getting people out of that rental market into their own home. That's probably my favourite thing about what we do. I mean, I love helping all clients with whatever we do, because every single time we're helping a client, it's because they've got a dream of some sort, whether that be a property renovation, buying their own home, buying an investment property. It's a fairly big dream no matter what we're dealing with, but the first home buyer is definitely my passion. There's nothing more rewarding for me than seeing someone that's on Struggle Street that I've given advice to, and a few years down the track, which I've got a lovely lady at the moment that we're doing that's been following my advice for about 5 years now, and she's finally in a position to buy. when we called her with her approval maybe 2 weeks ago, she could not stop crying. She's cried and cried and cried.
That's
so
amazing.
yeah, I think it's probably along those lines. And then the other thing is I'm massive on giving back. If everyone does one little thing, maybe once a month, do something to give back, it makes such a big difference in the world.
Couldn't agree
It doesn't
more.
have to be a big thing.
I love it. And you have such a big heart.
Thank you.
I've seen that, trust me. What top 3 tips would you offer someone who is busting to be at your level of success?
Okay. I think that the first thing is you are going to have to work hard. Like, I don't believe that sitting on a couch and dreaming what you want to do is going to get you where you need to go. Of course, it's great to have the dream, but you need to put actions behind that dream. It's not going to happen on its own, in my opinion. And I know that, there's people that believe that if you manifest and look at and do your vision boards and all of that sort of thing, that it will just happen. I believe in all those things, but I don't believe that they will happen without the action behind it. So create the dream and then start the actions. What steps do you actually need to do to get to where you want to go, and start those things. The other thing would be to do 2 things every single day that you wouldn't normally do. So if you already read motivational books every day, think about something else that you could do a podcast, or reach out to someone that's already successful in the industry that you want and ask them if you can buy them a cup of coffee and have a chat to them. So think of 2 things every single day and you will be amazed at how far that propels you forward. The third thing I think is reading motivational books. I'm very big on motivational books. I think that they just give you that little bit of extra inspiration that we all need from time to time.
I love it. I hope you got your pen and pads out there and were busy writing those out. Billy's, bless you, Anita. Oh, thanks for your
Billy.
Hey, Billy. I love it. Awesome. So we got some fun questions.
Okay.
All right. So, question number 1. In 1 word or more, favourite food?
Seafood?
Nice. If you had superpowers, what would they be and why?
I would like to put on my superhero cape that one of my clients actually made for me once. They actually made them for our whole team. And I would just approve all of my home loans.
I love it. I love it. This is probably going to be a tough one for you.
Yes.
Favourite travel destination?
Oh yeah, that's such a tough one. So obviously everyone that knows me well would know that I love singing April Sun in Cuba when I'm out with friends. So probably Cuba or the Caribbean or Alaska or Canada or Broome. In Australia, it's Broome in Western Australia. That's my favourite spot. And then, of course, I grew up in Port Stephens, which is one of my very favourite spots in the world. Vanuatu. How could have I nearly forgotten Vanuatu? I go there usually several times a year, but obviously can't at the moment. I'm known as Mama Anita there.
Aww.
I've got a beautiful, beautiful village that I visit there, and very special people there. Fiji. I haven't got it. I don't think I could say one.
Yes, that's a tough one. Favourite quote?
I think my own, and that's action is the key to success. That is definitely a quote that I live by.
Love it.
And if you're in a hole, dig yourself out, get moving, do something.
And your results definitely, match that. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Who's been your inspiration?
Well, I think that Fiona Harold, the one that I mentioned earlier, has definitely been, her book made the biggest difference in my entire life. Henry Ford, I did an assignment on him when I was doing my uni course, and I love Henry Ford, and I wish that we could go back to the way that he ran companies. We can't do that these days, but yeah, he was amazing. Nice. There's a few.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Are you loving this? Make sure you're placing some comments down. Tell us where you're watching from. And we're almost wrapping this up, but before we do, I want to show you Anita's book, Achieve the Dream, From Renter to Home Owner. Now, Anita has some giveaways. Anita, how would you like to give away 3 of your amazing books that you have here right now?
However you like, Chef. They're all yours to give to whoever you would like, or however you would like.
So if you are interested in getting your warm hands on this beautiful book that Anita has just finished launching, I
invite you to pop your name down in the comments, or feel free to message myself or Anita and just, tell us what you want, which one you want. You want 5, you want 10, you want 100? I don't know. But it is a wonderful book. I want to congratulate you for your success, and your success is obviously our success because we get inspired by the amount of work that you do, and just how you just live by your words, and that is truly inspiring. You're an inspirational leader to not only those of us around you, but to your team, no doubt, who's been by your side. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule and coming on to the Cup of Calm and helping share your story to the world. And you, as I said at the start, you just never know who you could be inspiring to help them be their ultimate best version of themselves. And after all, that's why we're here, right? And for a bit of fun.
Well, thank you. That's amazing. And thank you so much for having me.
No, very welcome.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, wonderful. And if you have any questions for Anita, please feel free to pop them into the chat. Feel free to either message myself or Anita, and I'm sure she would love to hear from you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.